Hey, Bruce here, the 5-Minute Handyman. I'm going to be installing this Powerbolt 2 touchpad keyless entry system on this door here and want to show you how to do that. So let's take a look at some of the hardware and we'll talk about it. I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel so you can see different types of handyman work and different renovations and such. So let's open up this box and see what we have inside. So I've got some instructions. I've got a template. Now, because we already have a deadbolt on this door, I'm really not going to need this template here. This is a standard kind of door, so I'm expecting that this is going to just fit right in. So let me show you what we have in the box here, and we'll look at how we're going to set this thing up. So I've got my little helper here, and so inside here I've got the outside mounted keypad that's going to be there. It also has a key. There's a little small hole here, and what this hole is for is so that I can key this to my current key that I have for the lock that's on the door right now. And that just makes it very convenient that I don't have to put a second set of keys on my key ring. I've got a bracket here. We've got the inside lock part that has a battery compartment on the top. And we'll set that up in just a minute. And I've got some hardware here. So the hardware that I've got is, let's see, I've got a set of keys, and those keys currently go for this lock. I've got a strike plate that's going to go onto the door frame. We've got the deadbolt. I've got the piece that's used to change my key. I've got some screws. Let me open these up. So I've got those screws, and then I've got a set of machine screws here. And the machine screws are used for putting the parts together on the door. And the other screws that I have, which are wood screws, are used for putting the strike plate and those pieces onto my door frame. So let's take a look at the door frame. We're going to take apart our current lock set, and I'll show you what that looks like and how easy that is to do. So over here, we're going to put this in the vertical position. So we're going to put it halfway up, and then I can get at the screws that are here, and I'll just unscrew this. Okay. Now we're going to keep these hardware pieces away from the other pieces, and we'll just put those away on the side. Now I have a strike plate here. I'm going to need to take that off as well. Okay, then this should just push right out. Okay, so that's the old strike plate. Now for the new one, we're going to look at this and we're going to see if it has any markings on it, and it does say up right here. So I need to put this in this orientation, and that fits in very nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of the wood screws that come in the package, and I will just put those in using my driver. Okay, so that is in place. Next thing to do is to take the keypad, and we're going to make sure that this is oriented in the horizontal position, because that is the position that the slot is set up here for the strike plate. And so I'm going to feed the wire below, and I will put this horizontal tab through here. Okay. So I'm going to hold that in place, and then we're going to take this piece, this bracket, and we will put the wire through the bottom part and fit this in like this, and then we're going to take these screws and we will put them in and line them up with the front keypad. Now, it's a good idea when you're lining up screws to make sure that they thread in correctly, that you use a screwdriver, not a power tool, because we don't want to cross thread. Once I get that started, then I can go ahead and use my power tool in order to tighten it up. And so another thing is, when we're tightening up screws, we want to just bring them in and snug them a little bit, and then we're going to check and make sure our orientation is correct, make sure that things are straight, and then I can snug them up a little bit more. Okay, don't want to over tighten this. Perfect. Okay, so now we have this plate in place, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this unit, which is our inside unit, and I will put my batteries in here. And usually the spring goes to the negative, and so I'll just pop these AA batteries in here, being careful to orient them correctly. Okay, got some sound there, so we know that the batteries are working. And what I will do now is I will line up my connector with the connector that I have here, and I see a red stripe on this side, and I also see a red stripe over here. So this is the way we're going to orient it. Push this together, make sure things line up correctly. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to set this up. I have to get this horizontal flat section to go inside of this section here. And so what the instructions tell me to do is to make sure that the lever is away from the deadbolt, and then we line this up, and then I find two of the other machine screws. Okay, here's one of the machine screws. That's going to go in up here. And again, we want to use a screwdriver to get those started, make sure we're not stripping anything. And then the second one goes over here. Again, I don't want to tighten them down. And the third one goes up over here. Okay, so I just want to snug these up. I don't want to over tighten because I'm going through some plastic here. And okay, so I am just about done here. I mean, this is a very easy install. So now what it tells me on the instructions is I need to set the orientation for this lock. And so the way to do that is to push on this side here. You just verify on the instructions. Okay, it's telling me put in the master code, push the lock button, press 0, push the lock button again. And that is supposed to set my orientation. So I push my master code, which is 0000, which is the way it comes. I push the lock button, and I push 0, and the lock button again. Okay, so it flashed green, and the instructions say if it flashes green, then you know you did it correctly. All right, so I am basically done here except for the codes. So if I put in, well, the way that this lock works is when I close the door, I push lock, and it locks it. Okay, deadbolt comes out. To unlock it, the default code is 1234. Now there's 2 numbers on each button. This is not like the old flip phones where you had to cycle through for each number. If I want to do a 1, I push a 1. If I want to do a 2, I push a 2. So I just hit it for whatever that number is. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, unlock. This is as easy as it gets to replace a deadbolt with a keyless keypad. So thanks for watching. Again, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel, and if there's other things you'd like me to show you how to do, whether it's handyman stuff, locks or switches or outlets or plumbing related, just leave those in the comments below. And thanks for watching.